Hello, everybody, and welcome. I'm Paula Bartholomew, and I'm just delighted that you've joined me for Hawthorn University's All About Alumni series. This is where we get to hear directly from our graduates about the exciting things they're doing professionally. And today we get to meet with Megan Fisher. Megan graduated from Hawthorn's Master's in Holistic Nutrition program in 2012. And I asked Megan to talk with us because I want to hear about everything she's been doing post-graduation, and particularly in her business, Holistic Health and Fitness. In this webinar, Megan's going to share how she overcame several obstacles to having a career in holistic health while being a military wife and living in red states that have restrictions around how to practice. So she'll share how her business had to evolve for each state that she's had to move to. So Megan, welcome. Hello, I'm so glad you're here.
Yes, thank you, Paula.
All right, I'm going to get us going right away. So it'll be my pleasure to introduce you. Are you ready?
I am all set if you are.
All right. Well, Megan Fisher is a holistic health educator with a master's degree in holistic nutrition from Hawthorn University. And in 2013, Megan created Horizon Holistic Health. It's an online business in holistic health and fitness. Megan's program educates women over the course of 12 weeks on how to establish healthy eating patterns for women who have eating disorders or who simply want to learn how to incorporate holistic health and fitness into their life. Megan has a bachelor's degree in exercise science. She's a certified personal trainer, a certified holistic health coach, a MOSSA Power instructor, and she teaches group fitness classes. Megan's a military wife, and she faces the challenges of moving and deployments. She has learned holistic nutrition and that can be practiced in red states, and we're going to talk and discuss what this is and how it takes time and understanding of what and how to educate others. And in addition, this is the delightful part, she's got a 2-year-old daughter, a dog, and 2 cats. I'm just delighted to talk with you and for everyone to learn more about your post-grad experiences. So I think a good place to start is, why don't you start by telling us how you got where you are today and what led up to giving this presentation?
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, I just want to thank you, Paula, for allowing me to have this opportunity. I have nothing but amazing things and experiences from Hawthorne. So I'm so thrilled to kind of share my adventure and hopefully we can help some people out there become more healthy. That's what it's all about.
It is, absolutely.
So I started years ago. I've pretty much been an athlete my whole life. I've been a runner, so you kind of have that type A perfectionist personality, and that didn't always go well. In my teens, it kind of led to an eating disorder with very restricted dieting, excessive exercise, and I felt awful. My health was just very poor. From the outside, I looked healthy, but from the inside, I did not feel well, and I suffered from pretty debilitating migraines for over 16 years. I tried everything from medication. I went to some of the best clinics in the United States, and nobody was able to help me. And so I just felt like I needed to try something different. So when I was in recovery with the eating disorder, I kind of just really embraced how well I felt when I ate whole foods, foods that are raw and not processed. It really did change my life. And so that's when I decided to take health in my own hands. And right after I got married out of college, I decided to enroll in Hawthorn. And it just seemed like the right fit. And there's no doubt about it, it was. I originally enrolled in Hawthorn because I just wanted to learn more about migraines. I had no interest in even starting a business. I just wanted to get relief from the migraines. And so that's kind of how the journey started.
Well, it takes, I just want to applaud you because, the first thing to come online and just to talk about a, prior eating disorder, it takes courage. So thank you for opening that door. And I imagine, you'll go on to share just not only relevant to you to get the help that you needed, but to see just it wasn't just you. It's not just you that has dealt with such disorder. And in the culture that we live in, it's very difficult for women to be healthy on the inside and out. And so bravo for taking this work on.
Well, thank you. And, I see more and more, there's so much pressure, especially for women and men too, but there's so much pressure to look perfect when you see these young girls that get on Instagram and these photos that people working out. There's a lot of pressure. And so I just want to embrace being healthy and feeling our best. That's what it's all about.
I agree. Well, let's move on to discussing what your original plan was for your business. And this probably is because you were living in a green state then, right? And so let's qualify what the differences is between green states and red states are right off.
Yes, absolutely. So when we were originally talking, when Paula and I were talking, she said, red states we're getting into politics. And I said, oh, I didn't even think about that. So when you hear me say green states and red states, what I'm talking about is strictly just for nutrition. And basically, if your state is green, you got a go sign. You can practice a lot and really help a lot of people. In red states, it's very restricted. I live in North Carolina. If you know anything about the laws, it's one of the strictest states to live in as far as practice. But I'm here to tell you that I'm thriving and I'm practicing. So there is hope. It's actually illegal to practice kind of more of the one-on-one nutritional counseling. So that's kind of what the red state is talking about here.
All right. And so let's move on to the original plan. What were you intending?
Yes, so my original plan, like I said, when I went to Hawthorn, I just wanted to learn about migraines. And I will tell you, through Hawthorn and learning about nutrition, I have pretty much drastically decreased my migraine episodes. So my original plan for the business was to just help other clients with migraines. One thing Hawthorn really shared was something called ALCAT testing, and what it can test for is different type of allergies, which people with migraines deal with food allergies sometimes. And so that was the main focus of my business for about 3 years when I was in a green state.
Mm-hmm. And this was via your Horizon Holistic Health, correct?
Yes, I would go see clients. I would actually go to their homes and see them. So it was awesome. I really enjoyed that experience.
So you were identifying what they were eating and using the LCAT testing to identify sensitivities that they may have and then making recommendations accordingly?
Yes, that was a big part, changing their diet, changing their stress, maybe adding in some supplements, whole foods, just a really lifestyle change.
So how long were you able to do that before you had to move again?
Well, in the military, we move about every 3 years, and so that's exactly how long I practiced that part of my business.
Well, then, how did business change for you when you moved to? Did you move from then right to North Carolina? It's one of the most strictest nutrition laws in the United States.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So we lived in North Carolina before, and so when we came back, I kind of knew what was coming, and so I knew I did have to make changes to my business. Mm-hmm. So as soon as we moved here, I knew like I said, I was going to have to change some things. Mm-hmm. And I knew I couldn't do the one-on-one nutritional counseling that I really, really enjoy, but I still wanted to help people. Mm-hmm. So what I did was I met with some professionals in this field in North Carolina, and we chatted. I had a chat with a lawyer, kind of things I can and can't say, or things to add or take out of my website, to really set me up for success and feel confident that I can practice here without fear of getting sued. So unfortunately, I did take out the migraine area of practice, but I added in something else for my business.
So did you feel initially, did you feel intimidated? And what kind of a lawyer? Did you have a specialty lawyer that you sought out to give you advice on nutrition restriction laws?
Yes, I did. And then I also had several, like I said, individuals in North Carolina that helped me out as well. So I had multiple people helping me to make sure that there was no way I was gonna get sued. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So how did you change the focus of your business then to accommodate these laws?
Well, like I said, my business was more one-on-one. I would travel to people's homes, but I had to kind of focus more on an online business only because I had a baby and my husband is gone all the time. So I made my business completely online just for now while we're here for 3 years. And what I've created now, it's a 3-month program, and it can be for women that maybe struggle with overeating, undereating, or just want to completely change their lifestyle with nutrition and fitness. So I tell them I'm their health educator on call, pretty much.
And do you still have a specific focus of the business?
Yes, so the focus for it, it's a custom thing for everybody. I used to do the custom meal planning in the Green State, and since I really can't do that anymore, I do more of a general meal planning for people through Evolution Nutrition, which is something that Hawthorn really taught us, which I greatly enjoyed. And then they also, in the 3 months, they get accountability. I talk with my clients every day via email, see how they're doing, how's your fitness, how's your food, let's talk about it. And then they also get to do some detox programs that I send to them via email, so they get full support for that. And then some of the handouts I have, it's just education. That's what my focus is now. I'm not prescribing anything, I'm not counseling, I'm just educating them on healthier choices.
So let's talk a little bit more then about the specifics of your program, what you're offering, and how this is safely practiced in red states.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. So my practice, like I said, focused from the nutritional counseling to education, education, education is what I always kind of go for. So like I said, they go through the accountability. They get these things called a virtual grocery store tour, which I created. It just goes through the grocery aisles and gives you tips how to save money, what to buy organic, what to look for. It really is one of the clients' favorite things. And then I also do give recipes. They get custom workouts they have to do. And then they also do a food analysis, which Hawthorn did a wonderful job kind of explaining for us how to do that.
Well, I wonder if you were nervous or if you built some excitement around making the changes. I mean, this was significant to shift from out of what you were doing to a really different profile, to go from consulting to educating.
Yes, I'm just going to be completely honest. I wasn't too excited about it at first. I had this business for 3 years that I loved. But what was most important is that I just want to help people. And right now, this stage in my life, this is what works for me for the state we're in. I'll kind of talk a little bit in a few minutes about ways we can, as people in the nutrition field, that we can kind of help fight for our rights. But it's what works for me now. And I found that I really enjoy the phone calls with clients every week. I really have found it so rewarding when you see people completely change their lifestyle for the better. So my business is more about quality of clients and not necessarily quantity. I really get to know the clients and their one-on-one needs. So
Fabulous. And you find that you're seeing them make progress from week to week also.
Yes, it's so rewarding. It really is. And that's what I always have to remind myself. It would be so easy to just dwell in what I can't do, but I just have to keep focusing on what I can do right now.
Right, right. There's so much. There's so much.
There is. There is.
Well, I'm wondering about just sharing a little bit more of the things that students can learn about how to practice safely in a red line state.
Yeah, absolutely. So when I went to Hawthorn, I can honestly say that they did a phenomenal job at giving us the tools they need. It's not like we graduated and then we were like, wow, I didn't know that there was this whole dietitian, nutritionist thing going on. They really prepare you, so you kind of know what's to come. Hawthorn did an amazing job with that. Some of the things that they really focused on when I was in school was to join a cause. One of them was the Center for Nutrition Advocacy. And if you ever get a chance, I can send you the link too, but if you ever get a chance, check out their website. They have great information, up-to-date information about your state. You can click on your state's link. They give you the laws and things like that. Their webinars are phenomenal. It's just a great site to go to.
Who is this?
What? Oh, the Center for Nutrition Advocacy?
Yes, yes. Brilliant. Thank you for bringing that name up.
Yes, you're welcome. And then another one is the National Association of Nutrition Professionals. And so through them, you can also take a board exam. And what this organization does is they're just here to educate and serve members and protect them in the field of holistic nutrition. So there are people fighting for us, and you have to remember that. And you can become an advocate as well.
Mm-hmm. And NNP is a good organization because students can join as a student member as you go through school, and there's a good number of benefits for it, and then become a professional member after graduation. And all of our degree programs, the doctoral program and the nutrition consultant program, our graduates of those programs are all qualified to sit for the Holistic Nutrition Credentialing Board exam. And Hawthorn students have done very well. I think we have a 97% success rate on first time through, so it's very good comparatively. And so you get good discounts and stuff as being a student, but they're very politically active, and so they're just good resources. I really encourage people to check it out. Taking the board exam, then not only do you have your credential from Hawthorn, but then you have the credential of being board certified. So it's an additional and quite a strong credential to walk out with.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more, Paula. And it just goes back to you can stand up for this, and we don't have to hunker down. So yeah, I highly encourage students to definitely join it and take that board exam.
All right, and you felt like throughout, the business course, everything else that you had at Hawthorn really helped you kind of navigate your way through red state, green state issues and the politics involved.
Absolutely. There's 2 points I kind of want to go on with that. The first point is your professor. So the one thing I loved about Hawthorn is you really get close to your professor. My professor and we just had this great relationship, and she really gave me the confidence I needed to be successful post-graduation, and to help you find kind of the niche that you want to work on. So that was awesome. You don't get that at a university where you go sit in the classroom. Online, it's on your time, but it's definitely a better relationship, I felt. So that was a wonderful, wonderful experience. And then, sorry.
Did you also interact with other students? And one of the features at Hawthorn is you can see all the students that are in the same class that you're taking at the same time.
Yes, I did. That was a great tool to use. And actually, we all kind of stay connected on LinkedIn as well and Facebook. Thank goodness for social media nowadays.
Yeah,
So that
really
was really
lovely.
nice. And the textbooks too. The picture on the left is some of the main textbooks from Hawthorn that I wanted to take for part of my business. And these aren't just books you buy and then never use again. I mean, I still use these for my clients. So it's such a great tool, and you get these books that you're really gonna use, and I love them. They're great books to read. So
Yeah,
that always
they're
helps.
terrific resources. Good picture to see that. Yeah, it's one of the things, books and what we can learn from so
That's
many different
right.
resources, right?
Yes.
Well, I'm pleased to hear that you felt like you were truly set up for success. I think it's important to know that you are encouraged, that there is that support, both for the education and understanding what you're learning, and the bigger picture of the goal of what you're moving to and what you're attempting to achieve in gaining your degree or your certification. So yeah, it's one of the things we pride ourselves in is the support that all throughout administration and our faculty are really dedicated to our students.
And I totally believe that it just shows in the actions. Like I said, post graduation, you feel confident when you graduate. Like, I got this. I've got the support I need, and people cheering me on.
Mhm. Well, is there anything else you want to say about that, or any other thoughts that you have that you've been learning in your career?
I think that's it for that one.
Okay. I just think it's important to have a dream, and you came into Hawthorne with a very clear goal, and I think it's worthy of applause of how well you've been able to adapt to your circumstances, and I think possibly that it really was helpful. I mean, being a military wife, you have to adapt at least every 3 years to the different situations. So.
Yes, definitely.
And I just have to wonder if moving into a more of an online platform suited you with having to move. Your clientele don't move with you. You move from a location, and that's where your clients are. Versus online, you're really virtual. You're everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. Thank goodness for the internet nowadays.
What about other practitioners have you met along the way, and have you been able to learn from them? Have you gotten anybody that's kind of mentored you or guide you on what they've learned and struggled with and overcome?
Yeah, lots of people. When I lived here last time in North Carolina, I found a certified natural health practitioner. And so I just asked her if I could intern for her. And she was just a wealth of knowledge. And she was such a caring person. I learned so much, from clients to having a business and things like that. And then once I met her, she introduced me to other people. And so it was just kind of this spider web of meeting all these people in the health field. And, one thing I learned is a lot of individuals in the health field don't look at each other as competition, but rather there's a lot of people that need our help. And
Right.
so we got a lot of work to do.
Yeah. There's a whole lot of work to do, and I love that the 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 approach to being more collaborative than competitive, and the recognition that yes, we all have resources, we all have our role in the things we do, and so interacting with other professionals is so important because you can co-refer things that you're really good at, they'll refer to you for, and vice versa. So it builds up good collaboration, I think.
Yes, absolutely. I found that when I started working with a chiropractor, it's just different webs where we're all helping people in this field. So you're absolutely right.
And I think also being confident enough to overcome. A lot of times, students and early graduates will feel hesitant about sharing what they know, feel like they need to know everything there's possibly can know and have it down perfectly before you can give guidance or share your thoughts or your ideas with others. And people need help, and they need it on a very basic level very often. And so can you speak to that? Did you go through any of that?
Oh, 100%. You know, there's always a lot of pressure to kind of feel like when you graduate to just have it all together. But um, yeah, you're right. It takes time, and you have to remember that some people are starting very basic. You know, I've had people that ask me, "What's a carb?" And so people need our help in all areas. So it's something
Carbs are
to
confusing.
yeah.
The way we talk about food in this culture is it's no wonder people are confused.
This is true. This is very true.
And even when we were talking, coming into this, it's like, well, you better talk about what red states and green states are because not everybody knows that language, and it's the same thing with our terminology in this. It's our terminology, and so when we start working with our clientele and educating, they're like, Whole Foods, is that like the grocery store? Or what are you talking about?
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. And you know, one thing I really learned about this field is to take care of yourself first because when you're helping clients, you know, you're really pouring yourself helping them. And so it's very important to take care of yourself, you know, physically, mentally, spiritually before we can help other people. I always believe that.
And ongoing, it just doesn't start. It's an ongoing thing. And modeling, yeah. If you're educating and you're online and you're on screen and you're telling people to cut sugar out and you've got a bag of M&Ms and a cola on your desk, it doesn't look good.
Yes, exactly.
um, so you've got a powerful statement here. Start where you are. So everybody's going to be in a little different place. You know, they're going to have a different focus when they graduate from Hawthorn. And so is that what you mean, is start where you are or start where you are geographically or in every way?
Yeah, I just start where you are. Kind of how we said, it's okay if you don't know everything right away. You're not supposed to. You know, life is a process. And if you have a passion and you want to help people, make it happen. But you don't have to know everything right away.
Yeah. This is, is deep and comprehensive as Hawthorne's programs are. You can't possibly stop. This is a field that's constantly evolving. Um, Education needs to continue.
Yes, 100%.
So what did you do to create long and short-term goals for yourself?
Well, this is something that I really pressed for my clients as well, to create these goals for yourself, especially in health and wellness. So for myself, for example, January 1st every year, I create not resolutions, but it's kind of a reflection of the past year and what I want to make different in the years to come. And then I'm always setting goals, whether it's fitness goals, you name it. So it can be a week goal, a month goal, things like that. And I really just find it to be successful and to have that accountability
Mhm.
with other clients when they
Well,
share their.
having learned about goals in Hawthorne, the SMART goal system at
Yes.
any regard is to apply that into to your career and your life. I think is so important because we can have very lofty, broad term, very broad goals, but to break them down into very actionable steps makes it possible and much more successfully to be able to achieve it, I think.
Absolutely. Yes, clients do love using that SMART goal worksheet. I still use that. So,
And I think it's just a powerful tool to support clients with too. So once they get that, and it's like I see so much is like people think it's all or nothing. If I can't commit 100% and do it completely right, I might as well just not even bother. And so it's a small steps creates the success.
yes, definitely.
Well, we have just a couple minutes left, Megan. I wonder if you want to share anything else about Horizon Holistic Health or anything about the services you offer or anything else.
Sure. So like I said, I recently had to just change my business to all online. Um, so what I do is I offer a free consultation. It's phone or Skype for anyone that has access to a phone or a computer. Um, And I kind of go over some of the services I offer. One of the things I do, it's an 11-day detox. So don't think of it as just drinking smoothies. It's actual recipes that I give for clients. It has over 100 recipes that they can use post-detox, which is great. They're simple, they're healthy, they're cost effective. So that's one of the programs that I do. And then the biggest one I do that I love is the 3-month custom wellness program where they get that one-on-one for accountability. They really get that health education. They get probably over 200 handouts just learning about health, and we set health goals and fitness goals together. So I tell people I'm kind of their cheerleader on call, as I say. So
a 3-month custom wellness program is brilliant. We see in literature and research that 21, 28 days is kind of minimum for setting a new pattern, a new habit in place, starting to break it. So at 3 months, you're really evolving into something and setting down some new practices, and they should have some terrific resources at that point to be able to continue to check in with you as needed, but they should be very well set.
yes, absolutely. And I do have the renewal program. It was actually clients that were asking me, hey, can we do this for another 3 months?
Mhm.
So I enjoy that.
Terrific. Doing repeat. People that have gone through one of your programs with a 20-day or a 30-day, to offer it again, they will, if they did really well, they will come back for it. They'll long for it, and they'll tell other people about it too.
Of course.
All right, you ready to take some questions?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. So one of the other resources, there's some questions about red maps for red state, green state, but in the resources that you offer, will you tell that website again?
The nutrition advocacy website?
Right.
Yeah, sure. It's just Center for Nutrition Advocacy. And I can look it up if it's .gov or .com. We'll see here.
It's .org.
.org. Okay, there you go. Thank you.
So it's real easy. You go there, you type in your state, or any state that you want to find out what's happening there, and they'll inform you. And I think this is a good opportunity to also, since we're into the politics of this a bit, restrictive states and more open states, is being very proactive is so important. Getting involved in the state that you work in. And just because it's a green light state now doesn't mean it will stay that way. We've worked diligently for decades in California, and we were successful in passing SB 577. It's the Freedom to Practice Act. And the registered dietitians were coming down hard. There was bill after bill being proposed through the legislature to restrict practice to registered dietitians only. Not even doctors were going to be allowed in this. Nobody is professional enough except for the registered dietitians. And this would have been, California would have been one of the biggest restrictive states also, but because of the active NAMP and other organizations, word was out that these bills came forward, and there was tremendous support and an outpouring of people that came to these meetings and wrote to the legislatures and said, no, to restrict this is just not right. And why? And the loss of income and the loss of the right to choose what practitioner that you want to see was really on board. And so again and again, we have blocked attempts to undermine this law, and now have currently a green light state, and I'm very grateful for that. Every state should be and could be, and it's because of the direct individual actions that have taken place here. If everybody just sat back and said, oh, well, there's nothing we can do, we just either have to move or never say the word food or nutrition again, it's not okay. It's not okay with me to leave you with those kind of attitudes, and I'm sure not with you, Megan.
Yes, absolutely. I think California would be a great place to have a practice. And it just shows if people really stand up for what they believe is true, there can be a positive outcome.
Right, right. So there's a request for you to repeat the programs that you offer, please.
Yes, of course. So the biggest one I do is the 3-month journey, 3-month wellness journey, as I call it. And so in 3 months, we take your whole life with food and fitness and mentally, spiritually. We just challenge it a little bit. So to kind of dig deeper in it, what I do is every week we chat on the phone and we go over how you're doing. So that's kind of the accountability part. And then every week you get about 5 to 10 handouts that can be nutrition education. It can be the SMART Goals worksheet from Hawthorn, different things to really challenge you as an individual and help just slowly make changes in your life. So it would look different for everybody. I have a lot of women that deal with eating for emotional reasons. Maybe they're sad and they eat a lot. That's a huge issue for women. And so we kind of just we chat about it, we work through it, and just different baby steps they can do to overcome that. So I also do I used to do custom nutrition plans in the green state, but now I do kind of more of a general meal planning for clients as well. And then I also do the detox programs. There's one in the fall that I have right now. So it's great because it's budget friendly and it gives them a ton of recipes to use. So.
And you talk about 5 to 10 handouts a week. Do you find that supportive or somewhat overwhelming to people?
It depends on the person. That's a great question. Some people, they dig into the program, give it 100%, and some people you really have to push. So maybe it wouldn't be as many, but that's kind of the general one that I do, general amount that I do. And so each week has a theme. 1 week, if it's the grocery store tour, we'll kind of go through that, and then maybe some handouts on things that they can change, the foods that they have in their home to swap out.
Mm-hmm. So for your group detoxes, question is, how do you attract attention? How do you recruit? How do you run it?
Great question, and thank goodness for social media again. The biggest thing is just to get your name out there, and that was very scary at first, but I can tell you that my first year of my business was the best year that I've had so far. I made it my lifestyle. I told everybody about my business. I supported it, especially Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Just let people know who you are and what you're about, and really getting into your community. So where I lived at the time, I met with chiropractors, naturopaths, pharmacies, and just asked if I could, do a presentation or something just to get my name out there. And people were very open to that. I was very surprised. So.
No, I love it. Sounds really good. When you say, the next question is, when you say you give grocery tours, are those live or on Skype? Do you have anything pre-recorded? How does that go?
Yes, great question. So when I was doing the Green State one-on-one with my clients, they were the clients that I would meet in person. So we would go to a Kroger, was the normal place I went, and we walked through it. If they had a specific grocery store they wanted to go to, I would kind of scope out the grocery first before I took them, obviously. And we just go through a handout. I made about a 15-page handout of just tips and tricks to learn at the grocery and how to save money. So
great. And going to a Kroger, very, commercial, very well, it's not a health food store.
yeah.
And to contrast that, even, if there's a Whole Foods or something like that, I mean, Whole Foods is, you really have to educate somebody at, because, there's organic and then there's a whole lot that's not in Whole Foods. And so it can be deceiving, and you really want to know how to not spend every dime in that store. But in a health food store, maybe they've never been in a more natural food store and what's available there. So there's a lot of different options.
Yes, of course. And I also suggested for clients to go to stores that we wouldn't think of that would sell organic food and that would be less expensive, to really think outside the box is my
Gosh,
goal.
it just gave me an idea that on your own, since Margot brought up was like this was pre-recorded. Did you do it on Skype? It's like, how do you do a grocery store tour on Skype? Well, it made me think of FaceTime, and or if you're walking through and doing a video in a store, so you're recording yourself in the store, walking through the aisles, talking, so you're not with somebody, but you're very educational there. What do you think? Do you see any possibility of that working?
I think that's brilliant. I never thought of that.
Right, right. It's like you can post it on your website. It's a free resource. And then you could get more specific and personalized if somebody needs more than that.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
A movie in the health food store, right?
Yeah.
Very good. All right, we're just about out of time here. I feel very good about this and the information that you've shared. Is there anything else you want to close with? Any other thoughts to leave people with?
Well, I just want to encourage you, if you find that you're attending Hawthorn, keep pressing forward and don't just follow your dreams because you're afraid of these laws. There are choices, and follow your dreams. If you want to help people, it will happen.
Thank you, Megan. That's a good inspirational thought to leave everybody with. Hang on to your dreams, follow them, pursue them. So I hope this was inspiring, everyone. It was for me, and I thank you, Megan, very much.
Yes, thank you guys for allowing me to do this and for everyone taking their time out today to listen.
All right. And I want to let people know that we'll have our next All About Alumni on Wednesday, November 2nd. Rebecca Katz is going to join us, and she just published her 5th cookbook. It's a fantastic cookbook, and she has a terrific cooking for patients with cancer and their survivors. It's a great course that's going on right now. So check out RebeccaKatz.com, see what's going on in her world, and then join us on November 2nd at 12 noon Pacific time, where we get to have that conversation with her. And until then, I want to thank Megan again. I want to thank you all for being here, and I want to wish you the best of health and encouragement to take good care of yourself and those you love.
Yes, thank you.
All right.